When the storm comes, the deck becomes a battlefield. The crew had to tie the anchor ropes and reinforce the tanks, while waves over 10 meters high continuously lashed the ship's sides. While saving their own lives, they had to protect the lives of the warriors from the bottom of the sea. The temperature outside could drop close to freezing, but in the tank, the water had to be kept at a steady 34 degrees Fahrenheit. Too cold, and the crabs could go into shock. Too hot, and they would weaken. Every small deviation meant a fortune was lost. The captain had to choose the wisest path, avoid icebergs, avoid strong winds, but still ensure timely return to port. Because the longer the time at sea, the greater the risk of loss. After many hours of braving rough waves and cold winds, when the harbor lights appeared, it was not just a destination, but a victory. More than 1,000 king crabs were alive and healthy, ready to embark on the next journey at the processing plant. As soon as they arrive at the port, the king crabs are transported straight to the modern processing plant. The deep, cold air surrounds them, keeping the temperature just a few degrees above freezing to ensure that the crabs are always fresh. A team of workers wearing white gloves begins the inspection process. Each crab is carefully examined. Shell color, reflectivity, balanceability. Only the healthiest individuals are sent to the next line. Each crab is tagged with a traceability tag, clearly stating the fishing coordinates, harvest date, and shipping route. This is a mandatory step to ensure transparency and international quality. After sorting, the crabs are processed manually in a deep, cold environment. Workers use specialized knives to separate the meat, preserving the natural structure and Arctic flavor. The crab meat is then sent in two directions. One part is packaged fresh using vacuum technology. The other part is processed to cook quickly with steam, then immediately cooled. Each tray of crab meat is inspected one last time before being sealed, packaged, and shipped to the market. For high-end shipments, the product will be shipped directly to Michelin restaurants, where freshness is a decisive factor in reputation. In the processing room, every detail is measured in seconds and degrees Celsius. From the light, temperature to humidity, everything must be up to standard. The smallest mistake can make the whole batch fail to meet the requirements. And then the final result appears: red, sweet king crab parts, delicately presented. From the stormy deck to the cold factory, the journey of preserving life is complete. On the luxury dining table, a $400 to $600 portion of crab is more than just a luxury seafood dish. It is the crystallization of harsh nature, precise technology, and human dedication. Three technologies work in tandem. Environmental sensors send data every 3 minutes. Cold logistics automatically maintains temperatures of plus or minus 0.9 degrees Fahrenheit, and manual biomonitoring to fine-tune every microstep. All of this makes up the so-called cold chain of life. Once developed for vaccines and organ transplants, it's now being applied to luxury seafood. The costs aren't cheap. Each crab costs $35 to $50 just to transport, nearly 10% of the shipment's value. If humans can transport more than 1,000 lives, 3,100 miles, through 4 transit points and 2 time zones without losing a single individual, is there a limit to the ability to preserve life? From the forests, from the seas, and from the planet itself, the answer may lie in the level of devotion we are willing to give to it. There are silent, fragile journeys that contain absolute effort to bring life from the sea to the table. The king crab's journey is not only a logistical feat, but also proves that with knowledge and dedication, humans can bring life beyond the boundary between life and death. If you find this journey amazing, subscribe to the channel to discover the strangest, most precious, and precious stories. Red snapper, also known as red snapper, is one of the most valuable fish in the Gulf of Mexico and off the Atlantic coast. These fish seek safety in coral reefs, and even ancient shipwrecks on the seafloor. Living at depths of 33 to 656 feet, the snapper is a skilled hunter, silently stalking schools of small fish, shrimp, and squid. To survive, they never travel alone, but always travel in large groups to protect each other from danger. The rosy light covered the vast sea. The strong wind blew, carrying the salty air of the ocean. The fishermen began their long journey. They checked the sonar system, the ice chest, everything ready to preserve the fish as soon as they boarded the boat. The engine roared, the boat glided across the calm water, and the challenging journey began. The race is on now. Only 5 days to turn the red snapper from the seabed into $1 million. Time is of the essence, fuel is expensive, and the ocean is full of unpredictable surprises. Experienced fishermen know that this is not a matter of luck. They must understand the rhythm of the sea, the currents, and feel the water temperature. Because red snapper do not stand still. They are always on the move, sometimes close to the reef, sometimes far away. If you miss the golden moment, the trip can end in failure. In addition to using purse seine nets, many fishermen are loyal to the handline fishing technique. This method requires patience and personal skills. Each fishing line is dropped precisely where the red snapper school is moving. When a fish bites, the fisherman feels each tug through the line, gently pulling each fish up, ensuring the quality of the meat is not damaged. Although the handline method is time-consuming, it brings higher value. The fish come out alive, not crushed, like when pulling nets. 5-star restaurants are willing to pay double for fish caught by this technique. However, with only a few dozen fish per batch, fishermen have to work continuously under the hot sun. There is no room for error at sea. Storms can strike at any time. Currents can sweep away schools of fish. And with handline fishing, things are even more difficult, as everything depends on strength and experience. But the reward for that patience is the freshest snapper, which sells for the highest prices.